What if the very machine that built your empire turned around and tried to destroy you? That's the question haunting Drake right now. He's not just facing lyrical shots from Kendrick Lamar. He's accusing the most powerful force in music, Universal Music Group, of fueling the fire behind the scenes. This isn't just about rap beef anymore. Drake is fighting a legal war, and the target isn't Kendrick alone. It's the entire system that made both of them stars. He claims UMG crossed a dangerous line, pushing a diss track loaded with damaging allegations, then backing it with an industrial-sized promotional machine. But why would a label turn on its own artist? And why now? This story isn't just a battle between two titans of hip-hop. It's a look behind the curtain at how the industry really works when reputations, billions of streams, and the world's most lucrative contracts are on the line. To understand how wild this situation is, you need to know one thing. Both Drake and Kendrick Lamar are signed to labels under the same umbrella, UMG. That means they're technically on the same team. So when Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, a track packed with brutal claims about Drake's private life, it didn't just shock fans. It raised serious eyebrows in the industry. How was UMG allowing this to happen? Or worse, helping it? The track exploded within hours, topping every chart, flooding social media, and lighting a firestorm that even Drake couldn't contain. Suddenly, a diss track wasn't just a diss track. It became a cultural event, and Drake knew it wasn't by accident. The backing felt too massive, too coordinated. That's when the alarms went off. This wasn't just lyrical warfare. This felt like sabotage from within, and Drake was ready to go to war over it. In court, Drake made a move no one saw coming. He filed a lawsuit accusing UMG of defamation, claiming they pushed and monetized Kendrick's attack track, knowing full well the claims inside were exaggerated, harmful, and borderline character assassination. This wasn't just about hurt feelings or bruised ego. Drake says the impact of those lyrics stretched far beyond hip-hop. They damaged his brand, his relationships, and even led to threats against his safety. In the lawsuit, he describes the campaign as a form of industrial defamation, a coordinated effort to profit off tearing him down. And here's where it gets wild. He's not just blaming Kendrick for writing the lyrics. He's accusing the label of being an accomplice. According to Drake, UMG didn't just watch from the sidelines, they funded the show. They turned a rap battle into a smear campaign. And now he's demanding accountability on a scale the music industry has never seen. Let's talk about what set this legal fire ablaze: Kendrick's lyrics. In Not Like Us, he doesn't hold back. He paints Drake as a manipulative figure, alluding to troubling behavior with minors, a line so explosive it practically split the internet in half. Fans argued over whether it was just a metaphor or something more sinister. But to Drake, there was no debate. These weren't just battle bars. These were allegations that crossed a dangerous line. He says the lyrics created real-world consequences. Schools, family circles, brand partners, they all took notice. And it didn't stop there. Drake claims he received threats, messages, doxing attempts. According to him, the fallout wasn't artistic. It was personal, public, and dangerous. And the fact that UMG stood behind that track instead of pulling it, that, in his eyes, is where the line turned into a legal battlefield. The lyrics were just the match. The label lit the fuse. Drake's lawsuit goes even deeper than the lyrics. He claims UMG and Spotify didn't just let Kendrick's diss track explode, they made it explode. According to the suit, Kendrick's song wasn't simply carried by fans or hype, it was boosted by bots, buried algorithms, and backdoor deals. Drake's team accuses both UMG and major streamers of artificially inflating Kendrick's numbers, pushing him to the top of the charts while throttling Drake's own releases in the background. The words payola, RICO violations, and digital fraud appear in the filings. That's not just shade, that's criminal-level smoke. If even half of it holds up, This case could force the entire music streaming industry to come under federal investigation. Drake isn't just calling foul on a diss. He's saying the game was rigged, and the refs were paid off. The lawsuit frames the manipulation as a high-tech hit job. And the real enemy might not be Kendrick, but the platform that put him on top. As if the situation wasn't already on fire, things hit a global stage when Kendrick performed Not Like Us at Super Bowl LAX. That's right, a diss track aimed at Drake played during the most watched event in America. Billions of eyes, one message, and guess who helped secure that stage? According to Drake's lawsuit, UMG was involved in backing the halftime performance. The legal team claims the Super Bowl show wasn't just a concert, it was a continuation of the smear campaign. Kendrick didn't just perform the track. He weaponized the biggest platform in entertainment to double down on the message. And the result? Public opinion tilted. Brands got quiet. Fans got louder. The halftime stage turned a rap feud into a national moment, and Drake argues that UMG enabled it all. This wasn't about music anymore. This was about humiliation. Public, global, and, if the lawsuit proves true, planned from the top. Here's where things get legally dangerous for UMG. The judge didn't throw out Drake's case. In fact, they ruled that Drake's legal team could proceed to discovery. That means UMG has to hand over documents, emails, marketing plans, and yes, Kendrick Lamar's contract. Drake's lawyers want to know if Kendrick had any special clauses, incentives, or undisclosed bonuses tied to that track. Was he rewarded for lighting a match? Were internal emails cheering it on? If any of that shows up in black and white, it could explode the case wide open. This isn't just a fishing expedition. This is legal excavation, and UMG is now under a microscope. Every marketing dollar, every meeting, every playlist push, it could all become evidence. For the first time, Drake has the legal power to pull the curtain back on how the industry really works. And if what he finds is as bad as he claims, the fallout won't stop with UMG. It could shatter how labels handle artist beefs forever. UMG didn't just sit quietly while Drake launched legal grenades. They struck back, and they did it publicly. In their official filing, they dismissed Drake's claims as desperate theatrics, painting him as an artist who simply couldn't handle losing a cultural battle. According to UMG, this wasn't a smear campaign. It was just hip-hop doing what hip-hop does: battle, provoke, and push limits. Their statement didn't hold back. They said Drake was attempting to weaponize the courts to sanitize criticism, essentially accusing him of trying to turn judges into PR agents. But here's where it gets colder. UMG didn't deny promoting Kendrick's track. They didn't have to. Instead, they leaned into the idea that the music spoke for itself. And what they said next raised eyebrows. They hinted at releasing internal communications of their own. That's right. UMG is threatening to bring receipts. And if those documents show Drake was aware or even quietly involved in strategy talks, this case could turn upside down in seconds. UMG's legal team isn't just relying on shade and spin. They've got the US Constitution in their corner. Their defense hinges on one core principle: freedom of expression. They argue Kendrick's diss track, however harsh, is protected under the First Amendment. Artistic expression, they say, isn't defamation. It's culture. It's commentary. And most importantly, it's not literal. In their words, calling out a rival with sharp lyrics isn't a legal offense. It's hip-hop tradition. UMG's lawyers cite past cases where courts ruled that song lyrics, especially in rap, are not to be taken at face value. It's all part of the performance, they argue. It's theater, not testimony. But Drake's camp says this goes beyond performance. They claim UMG backed Kendrick knowing it would cause real-world fallout. That's the razor-thin line the court now has to define. When does a metaphor become a megaphone for destruction? And more importantly, who's holding the mic? This case isn't just about two artists. It's about a silent war over power, loyalty, and who really controls the narrative. Drake has been UMG's golden goose for over a decade. He's broken records, driven revenue, and helped redefine commercial rap. So why would the label back his biggest rival in the most public way possible? That's the question driving this entire case. Some insiders say it's about leverage. UMG knows Drake is nearing the end of his contractual run. By pushing Kendrick, they may be trying to remind every artist in the stable. Loyalty isn't guaranteed, it's earned, performance by performance. Others think it's a warning shot to Drake himself, a way of saying no one is untouchable. If UMG really chose sides and they backed Kendrick in this war, then the message is clear. Labels don't serve artists. Artists serve the label. And if Drake can be thrown under the bus, anyone can. But there's a deeper game in play here, one that's just beginning to show. While lawyers file motions and PR teams drop statements, Kendrick has remained completely silent. No tweets, no interviews, not even a cryptic Instagram story. And that silence? It's calculated. Kendrick has built a career on making every word count. So when he chooses not to speak, it speaks volumes. Insiders say his strategy is simple. Let the art talk. Not Like Us did all the talking it needed. The Grammy buzz, the viral challenges, the Super Bowl spotlight, it all built his image while Drake scrambled to play defense. But there's another layer here. Some speculate Kendrick anticipated the lawsuit, that he laced his lyrics carefully, just enough to stir controversy, but not enough to trigger a win in court. It's like watching a chess player move with gloves, and Kendrick knew where the line was. He danced on it, but didn't cross it. And while Drake fires legal missiles, Kendrick's silence becomes its own kind of control. But the silence can't last forever. The rest of the industry is watching this feud like it's the Super Bowl of lawsuits. Artists, execs, and managers are quietly picking sides, even if they won't admit it publicly. Some see Drake as a warrior taking a stand against corporate overreach. Others see him as a sore loser trying to litigate a lyrical loss. But the truth? Most are scared. If Drake wins this case, it could set a dangerous precedent. Labels might pull back from controversial releases. Artists might be forced to submit lyrics for approval. The very thing that makes hip-hop raw and fearless could start getting sanitized. On the flip side, if UMG wins, it sends a different message. Labels can use their weight to crush an artist's image, then hide behind artistic freedom. No matter how this ends, the ripple effects will be massive. And some of the biggest names in music are already bracing for impact. This isn't just another celebrity feud. This case is a litmus test for the future of music, expression, and control. If Drake uncovers evidence that UMG coordinated an attack through music, if those emails or contracts show intent, then every major label could face legal challenges for how they weaponize influence. It's about more than one song. It's about how art is packaged, sold, and used. Meanwhile, streaming platforms are sweating too. If Drake proves algorithmic suppression or fake engagement, the fallout could trigger government intervention. This could redefine music promotion as we know it. What started as a diss track may become the legal blueprint that rewrites the industry. And whether you're a fan, a label head, or just someone with a playlist, this battle touches you too. Because what's on trial isn't just Kendrick versus Drake, it's the entire system. So where does this all go from here? Right now, discovery is underway. Documents are being unsealed, contracts combed through, power players are getting nervous, and two of hip-hop's most iconic voices are deadlocked in a fight that could change the rules of the game. Drake is betting everything on the truth coming out. Kendrick is letting silence do the talking. And UMG? They're bracing for a fallout they might not be able to control. This isn't just a feud, it's a reckoning. And no matter who wins in court, one thing's already certain: hip-hop will never look at labels the same way again. So the only question left is, who's next?